have it written down
5,
somewhere.
4, 3. Hello, Cryptonauts, and welcome back to another episode of Cryptocurrency Chat. I'm your host, Blockchain John, here with my co-host, Mike and Jake. Let's see, there he is. How's it going, you guys?
Yep.
And today we have Marcel and Brandon from Project 33 that are making some amazing stuff. As a matter of fact, I'm going to talk to you guys in a bit in regards to your awesome auction, man. But before we get started, I first and foremost want to thank all the listeners from the 85 countries from all around the globe for listening to the podcast. I thank you. It's one of those things that I probably still would most likely be doing this, but just to fathom the fact that we got 85 countries around the globe listening to the podcast is amazing. And for companies like Project 33 to be willing to come on the podcast is just a blessing in itself, right? So thank you, Marcel and Brandon, for being on the podcast. So with that said, Marcel, Brandon, how you guys doing? Hello. Hey, nice. Thanks for waving. Marcel.
Hey.
All right.
How's it going? Thanks for having us. We're
Awesome.
really happy to be here talking to, this whole new community for us.
So the first question I want to ask is, how long have you guys been into Project 33?
So I've been working with glasswork for since about 1995.
95.
So,
wow.
Yeah, I pretty much dropped out of high school and picked up a torch and stuck with it the whole time.
And you're a master glass craftsmanship, right? That's your profession.
Yeah, definitely. I'm known in the industry for also engineering equipment and solutions for process. So it's kind of a, after 20 years in, it seems like there's been a lot of different little tools and tricks and things that have been assimilated and contributed to the environment.
We'll actually go around here in a little bit after the introduction just to show the viewers. So for the listeners, there's also a new YouTube channel out that you can go to, which is the C3 Media YouTube channel. Check that out on YouTube. And you can see the visuals of what we're talking about. We're currently streaming in Braveland on the Braveland campus. What is it? Room number 7, correct? Brandon?
Building 7, yep.
Building 7, where all of the Project 33's, well, not all of them, but there's a handful of images of what they produced. I'm assuming over the years, right?
Yeah, it's been about 6 years of Project 33 since we started making the coins.
So is it Project 33 or Project 33?
It's I normally say Project 33 or Project 33. It's about kind of, we're about using a alternative complementary currency that we make out of glass.
Awesome.
And so the idea is that we're projecting the alternative, and it's kind of based on love and mutual aid. So, that's kind of the culture we come from. So that's why I call it Project 33, to project that culture into the mainstream, so to speak.
Nice. Brandon, how about you? In your introduction, how have you got started into glass craftsmanship?
So in 2019, I was talking with a buddy of mine who's also a glass blower. I'm not a glass blower. And I was telling him about Ravencoin, and he immediately thought of Marcel and his project, thought about the coins as kind of a way to track the art units. So I met Marcel in 2019, and we made the Ravencoin glass coins and tokenized them. So
Nice.
That was kind of the beginning, and Brandon's been helping us out with all of our media and stuff since then.
Nice. Actually, let's take a quick little walk around just for the viewers, just to be able to see what you've been able to produce. And you guys can explain what the idea behind these glass pieces are real quick before we continue talking about the company itself. So, Marcel, if you don't mind guiding us to what you want to talk about, which little piece you want to talk about.
Sure. Oh, my button.
Here we go.
Brandon, do you want to put a little short video up on one of the screens while I show them this other thing?
Yeah.
So this right here.
Just hold off. We've already realized that we can't get the audio and video out of the entire audience unless you have control over it.
Unless you guys take control.
I think if I personally watched it as the video recorder, then, or if John did, then he might be able to get it. But I don't know if Brandon can play it for everyone in the room.
Okay, but you guys can see the walls, though, right? What's on the walls?
Yeah.
Yep.
So Brandon can change the pictures on the walls on the screens behind us.
So go ahead.
So we'll see what happens. So Brandon, I assume you heard all that.
Yep.
So this is like right here is a picture of us fabricating a coin bar. It's the very last step that we do as a hot process is stretch it out. So the glasswork that we do are called Marini coins. So that chunk of glass I'm melting there is a solid bar from the top to the bottom, and each slice of that bar has essentially the same image in it.
How much does that bar weigh?
They're usually around 15 pounds.
And that's very, very hot, right? To the touch.
Wow. Yeah. That was an ad
Okay,
there.
I turned that off. Sorry about that.
Yeah, at least I'm glad to know that we can all hear it, though. That's good to see.
If it's YouTube, it works. Sometimes other sites don't play for some reason.
Marcel, let's go to check out something else.
All right, yeah. If you come in here, here's this is the image that we used for the NFT the first week of the auction.
Yes,
it says
that was
we consent
amazing,
only
man.
to love, and then in the infinity loop it says we dissolve all subliminally implanted contracts, and I really enjoyed that one. We really go for positive affirmations and stuff, and this one, sometimes they're a little more on point than other times, and I personally really like that one.
Exactly. Even all the pieces that you created on your website, which I want to plug in right now, a starshipIneverygarage.com. Now, actually, where did you guys get that title from? A Starship in Every Garage.
It's kind of a Starship in Every Garage is sort of the mission statement for the project. It's the idea is that the garage is the body and the starship is the spirit, or your fully developed self, I guess, is really how I envision it. So, the idea behind a Starship in Every Garage is facilitating the dreams of all of the people.
Beautiful, man.
Which I think
so thoughtful, man. This is so amazing, so amazing.
Yeah, I mean the whole project is basically a pushback against, just sort of starting to see how everything works and kind of being I'm with everyone who thinks there's a better way.
Yeah. Let's go to one more piece of art. Let's go to one more piece of artwork, and then we'll go ahead and sit down and continue the interview.
Okay. Let's see. Here's another static one over here.
Beautiful. I want you to describe this, because keep in mind that there's a lot of people around the country just listening to this and not actually they don't have the opportunity to see it. So describe what this is. Marcel? Uh-oh. Did he mute himself?
No, he's still open. I can still see that his thing is unmuted, but he might be stuck. I might have,
Yeah, I don't hear him. Let's
Well, he's
see.
got his laser pointer out.
Reinitialize voice. Yeah, I think your voice is not
If
working.
you can hear us, hit the settings. He probably just needs to reinitialize.
Uh-oh. There we go. There you go. How about that?
Yep.
There you go.
There we go.
All right.
Was I in that
You
No,
privacy
you were not.
ring?
You probably.
You were not. It just stopped for a bit.
I went through in a corner just a second ago. But yeah, do you guys want to sit down at the table?
Actually, I didn't hear the explanation of what this piece is.
Oh,
Where'd it go?
okay.
Behind
That
you.
piece is that piece is a cut and polished slice of one of the bars that we were looking at first.
Okay.
Oh, so it's like a cross section.
Yes, that's what all of our coins are, is a cross-section slice of a bar. So I like to explain that it's kind of like a physical version of blockchain.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I can totally see
Nice.
that. That's really neat.
And there's some text
Yeah,
on
it's
here.
insightful.
There's some text on here. It says 11:11 activation. Not sure what that means. And at the bottom it says serve your highest purpose.
Yep. Absolutely. So, 11 is a numerologically powerful activation number. So we actually made that on November 11th.
Beautiful.
So that was we were just happened to be wanting to make a coin on that day. So we wrote that statement and created that.
Beautiful. I love it, man. This is so nice. All right, let's
Out
go.
of curiosity, Marcel, to inquire a little bit more. Sorry, John. I want
No,
to
go ahead.
try to go into the description for the people who are not seeing this picture. Although we could probably post it tied in, particularly to the Discord channel later on for those people who are coming in. When you're saying cross section, Marcel, is it you've drawn out these other images, the things like the red and the yellow and the green that are in these here, and then the black. That's all drawn through the glass beam or the glass bar that you created and then cross sectioned. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. The technique is called Mirini. So some of them are actually already created at Mirini before the final pull. So that would be all of the letters and the intricate pattern parts inside of the image.
So you created all those individual lines within the glass stream or string or whatever you guys term it, plus those different shapes, the different individual. I wish I had my pointer out here, but the little thinner shapes that are in the middle, very center of the beam, and as opposed to the sections that are on the outside, the three sections that are the colored sections and the black sections, which are distinct. I'm just curious, the writing, I don't think you could have drawn out the writings. You basically had to etch around the outside with the 1111 activation and serve your higher purpose, right?
No, that's all actually incorporated into the block. So when we each letter is individually created. Let me see if my pointer works over here.
Because I was like, wow, that'd be really amazing to be able to just draw that out in the actual beam of glass. I don't think, but if you did it, that's absolutely amazing.
Pointers only
only
work on the
works-
screen. I can throw up something. Do you want to show some letters?
Yeah, throw up a coin. I guess we're doing this on the radio, technically, so I ought to just use my words.
Well, we are technically recording this in OBS, so we can do a video at the same time. But because Blockchain John's original podcast started on audio, we have to describe some of it.
All right, so we are now looking at one of our coins, and if you can imagine, there's the lettering around the rim like this, and then inside is pattern work. And each of these lines has to be created from an actual, a lot of it comes from a puddle of glass. So we have like a ceramic pot inside of an oven, and we reach in with a metal, like a 5-foot long metal stick, and dip like some honey consistency glass out onto it. It's a little stiffer than honey because we use a high working temperature glass. So each of these letters starts off as a loaf of bread size kind of chunk, and that's a large enough size that I can like make sort of a triangle piece, and then laminate a piece of black onto the bottom of it, and then laminate some more white. That glass is actually called slime, and then put some on both sides and join the top and put the bars on the bottom of the A. Each of those moves happens as a teamwork of like 3 or 4 people, sometimes 5 people. So you got a person opening the door of the furnace and a person picking up the piece of black or the piece of slime that isn't the piece that we're building on. So there's usually two kind of people using the furnace at the same time to create these letters. So essentially I have a library of this letter cane at the Starship.
Wow, that is really amazing. Honestly, I've seen some amazing work within glass at like maker fairs, but I've never seen anybody write an entire word in like a long tube format. That's just absolutely amazing to me. At this point, I don't even know if words will describe it properly.
Yeah.
So and then
now you're going around it, but I don't see what you're. I see the 33.
I'm just fidgeting. This is the letter ring. It gets rolled up in like so we start with what we call the pastorelli tray, and it's like a fork and a ceramic plate, and on that plate we put a bunch of already made marini. So it's like a dinner plate size piece of this blue image about 1.5 inches thick on this plate. And so the guy who runs the pastorelli, and by 1.5 inch thick piece of the image, what I mean is each one of these triangles is one piece. So I made a giant bar of this triangle, actually several bars of the triangle, and then we cut them up into 1.5 inch long sections and stack them next to each other.
Lost it. Did anyone else lose it?
Yeah, I lost it too. I'm not sure why.
I'm trying to back it up. It's coming up on. There we go.
All right.
Poof. Brandon, can you do a pastorelli shot on one of the other screens?
Yeah, let me see if I can find one. I'll throw one up over there.
Okay. So essentially we put these triangles on, and then they're notched around the round piece of cane for this center detail. And that's how you build complexity in a marini, is you take pieces that you've already made and you reincorporate them, and then they become finer lines in the new generation.
Wow.
So yeah, this blue part gets picked up off the pastorelli tray, and then we do these sort of roll-ups.
I'm not seeing what you're seeing on here. I apologize. I see nothing but a black and white Project 33. There's no color.
Oh wow! Really? You're not seeing the A Starship in Every Garage
no.
coin.
Oh, I'm definitely seeing it. I'm definitely getting on the video, which I'm recording. So
try hitting the refresh button, John.
I did. Yeah, I'm not getting anything. That's why for the longest. Oh shoot. Ah man. Okay. There we go.
Knows it far better, but man, this is amazing to see those letters. They're actually not just one frame. When they're cutting the coin up, the entire length of the beam has the words throughout it. I don't know. It's giving me a minor brain aneurysm to think about how he managed to pull this off. It's just stunning to me.
It basically happens in 2 stages. You have the tray at the beginning where the main part of the image, what we call the core, is, and I use we call them lino fingers after a pioneering glassblower, and it squeezes it together until it's a solid block instead of a bunch of pieces with no air in it. And then after we get to it goes from 1.5 inches thick and like 10 inches in diameter to like 2 or even 3 inches thick and like 8 inches in diameter. And then I pick it up onto what we call a punty, which is a metal rod that we can take it to the furnace more easily with. And then I reshape it. It's the right diameter and size to start rolling up the round layers. So you can see after the blue triangles, there starts to be concentric layers of dots, then the black, and then the letters. And all that happens from either a tray in the glory hole or a tray on the Marver with torches, where we heat the material up and then roll like a giant cheese wheel on the end of the pipe across it and pick up a rind, if you can imagine that.
Nice. And you have videos on your website of making glassworks, right?
Absolutely. And our Instagram as well.
Oh, cool. What's your Instagram?
At A Starship in Every Garage and at Marcel Glass.
Cool.
All right, let's go have a seat at the table so we can continue on with the conversation. Thank you for showing that to us. That was great.
You're welcome.
This is my favorite, by the way, and I believe on the first auction, this is the one that sold for the most, right?
It is. Yep.
Yeah. I got a lot to talk about, man. Let's go have a seat.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so continuing on, Marcel, it sounds like traditionally I ask all my guests what did they do before they started doing what they're currently doing on this project, and it sounds like, Marcel, you've pretty much done this your whole life, like literally, right?
Glassworking my whole life, yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
And then the currency thing came into it in a strong way, about 6 years ago.
All right, we'll get to that right now in a bit. Brandon, what did you do before you got into glasswork?
I was doing e-commerce, selling on eBay and Amazon, and marketing.
Okay, so that's going to be my follow-up question. Do you guys do the exact same job? Do you guys work together per se, or do you guys have different job functions?
We have different job functions. I do the glass work. I'm kind of the captain of the Starship, and Brandon is the media manager and tech advisor and implementer and
Beautiful.
ninja.
All right, so now that we're actually caught up to date, the question that for the listeners and for the viewers, do you happen to have any career opportunities in Project 33 for people that are interested in Project 33?
Career opportunities. Wow, that's a big thing. We work on kind of a volunteer basis in a lot of ways. Like, people that are interested in glasswork come to us in order to get experience with the tools and the techniques that we use.
Beautiful.
We have we're more of like a collaboration platform.
Okay.
How I would kind of put it.
So if somebody wants to tinker with glasswork, they can try to reach out to you, say, hey, I got this idea, but I don't know how to do it. Can you teach me how to do it? Can they go up to you and says, hey, I'm willing to pay for the supplies. Can you just teach me how to do it?
Nah, we're more of the like apprenticeship model. So if you're coming in like that, it'd be more like I come out and sweep the floor and see what you guys are doing during a project or something.
Okay.
Floor
sweeper. I can do that. I can be a floor sweeper. Sure.
Or, if you were a media person and you're coming to write an article, that would also be totally useful. So if you're asking how you personally can get to the Starship, the answer is basically the same: is reach out and see how you can be mutually beneficial. What can we do to help you, and what can you do to help us, and do it.
So there's this interesting thing that happened in the last two Braveland NFT auctions, and that's Project 33 has on both of them have been the top selling NFT in both auctions. The first one, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but was rounding off to about 15,000 Raven coin.
Yep.
The second one that just happened about 2 days ago, their top selling one was about 35,000 Raven coin. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. Was that correct?
That is correct. Yeah, we were very happy with that.
And you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy is that you only asked for 1,000 Raven coin minimum, and to get 35,000. So that just shows you that your quality of work is no joke. Like, people respect what you do in Raven coin. That's beyond, like, wow. You didn't just get a 2x, man. You went to the moon on this. Your starship went to the moon without a doubt, man. That's awesome. Now, for the listeners and for the viewers, how did you get into Ravencoin or blockchain? Let's start off with blockchain. Before we even get into Ravencoin, let's get into just blockchain technology. Did you first hear about Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum before you got into Ravencoin, or was it just straight Ravencoin before you even tinkered with anything else? How did you get into it?
I mean, it seems like the definition in this community is actually purchasing versus knowing about. So, unfortunately, I knew about this stuff for a very long time. Probably should be wealthy from it, but
So when did you first hear about it?
First hear about Bitcoin?
Crypto, yeah.
The first whisper I heard about it, let's see. Somebody tried to buy a piece of work from me when Bitcoins were about $1.
No,
and
man.
I couldn't be troubled to figure the wallet out.
Okay.
So
that's crazy.
So that would have been 100 Bitcoins.
Dude, that's
maybe 125.
Crazy. Oh, man. When did you finally get into it?
Basically with Ravencoin, at the Ravencoin test.
Okay, so you never messed with Bitcoin then?
No, I mean, to me, it's like the commodities market is cool, and I see how that's like really interesting to a lot of people, but I'm way more interested in like the actual utility of these new technologies. So that's what drew me to Ravencoin, is the accessibility to build on it. And that's where we're invested, is like once there was an opportunity that I was aware of to build my own sort of situation and bring my own thoughts to the table using blockchain, that's when I started using blockchain.
All right, nice. Let me sit a little closer to you because I feel like I'm not picking up your audio enough. Now, for the viewers out there watching this live on YouTube, you can literally send me a message right now. If you have a question to Project 33, to Marcel and Brandon, go ahead and leave a message, and I'll ask them that question for you, okay, on your behalf. So, continuing on, Brandon, how about you? When did you get into crypto? What year, per se?
I got in 2017, the 20K. And it's been every day since. I've been so interested. Ever since I found out about it, I started learning, reading white papers, bought into a bunch of ICOs, which I should not have. So I learned a valuable lesson. But
been there, done that, brother.
Yeah. So anyways, it's been ever since.
What's the first crypto you got into?
Bitcoin, Litecoin.
Now, do you still hold them, or did you sell them off? Did you have jelly hands?
I still have some of that Bitcoin I bought. Most of it I turned into altcoins. So at one point I had like 50, 60 different altcoins. I was just going wild. Now it's mostly Bitcoin, Ravencoin, and a few others.
All right. So, Marcel, Brandon, I want to know whose idea was it to integrate blockchain technology with Glasswork and actually make it an actual legitimate product?
I'd say it was a collaboration.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's definitely a collaboration.
So you guys
me,
already
Marcel,
had
and
this.
Evan.
You guys already had this idea. Hey, blockchain is the future. Why don't we just integrate what we're currently doing with our skills into blockchain and create these unique assets and attaching our physical work with our assets? Because that's technically what you're doing. For the listeners out there, Marcel, can you describe exactly what you guys are producing with blockchain and your glass coins?
So yeah, I mean, the glass work we create actually pretty much a physical analog of a blockchain. So we go through a process to quote unquote mine a block where we build the block of glass, and it looks just like a giant block of glass. And throughout it has a complete record of everything we did to that block of glass. Like every mistake we made will have a tale to tell, and every success we achieve in building our process will show in the workmanship. And then when that block is pulled, there's no way to duplicate it or change it or do anything but slice it into slices and see what you have. And so we're in my view on blocking, like to give you a little bit more background about me, some of my other hobbies are regenerative agriculture and just kind of advocating for like planetary rights and stuff like that. Like not necessarily like a crazy vegan stance as much as a holistic, like we need to get these systems functioning smoothly, like a regenerative agricultural stance. And so around the Starship, we locally sourced food from small farms and stuff like that, and that's what we like to support. So the tech and the opportunity that blockchain poses for people to exert control on the world around them, like regular people, it's amazing. I mean, it's like all of a sudden, the whole world is going to change systems, and the common person has an opportunity to like put a word in right now. So we're advocating for the system we are creating in glass is about bringing community together for mutual aid, for mutual benefit around the physical making of a trade token. So, when people accept that trade unit like a currency has value, that value is multiplied at that time. So, our view, like many people who circulate complementary currencies, is that any way to capture that value in your very local group is positive for the community, because the alternative is shipping it out to, overseas or large companies that aren't like actually spending it back in your group.
Beautiful.
So
Beautiful. So my next question I want to ask you is that you're currently using the Ravencoin proof of work blockchain. Now I say proof of work because I think you could have easily gotten away with using a proof of stake algorithm to do what you're currently doing. Now, why did you decide to use Ravencoin versus something like Ethereum or something like what's something else? Can I get some help? Somebody else? What are some other cryptos out there that's proof of stake? I'm going blank right now.
Wax.
Well, yeah, actually, you could have done Wax as well, absolutely, but it's still on the Ethereum blockchain. Let's check here. Even a stablecoin.
Wax is its own.
What's that?
I said Wax is its own chain based off EOS.
EOS, correct. Yeah. Or Stellar. Why did you decide? Actually, Stellar's.
I mean, I think that just to help answer your question in the way that's going to make the most sense, it's like a lot of it was opportunity. So, these guys came to me and they said, "Hey, did you know that Ravencoin can do this?" And the fair launch, no insider kind of situation that seems to be around Ravencoin is really attractive. to us, because it seems like a community-based system, but you really cut right to the heart of it with the proof of work versus proof of stake, because of the kind of, I guess that's, the easy answer is that, Ravencoin's been working
Yeah.
for us to create the documentation. So we use it as we use it to add value to our physical blockchain. We actually consider to be the primary. So that's an interesting kind of like difference in perspective that I have compared to a lot of people in this space, where, to me, blockchain is just a new way of creating contracts and guidelines and public organization and culture that is waiting to govern. It still has to govern real world interactions between real people. So the parts of using it to, it's not, the NFT isn't really much of a thing until it causes you to feel some kind of a way, or it can give you ownership of an object. Like some of our NFTs are actually titles and repositories for information giving context about actual physical objects that we sell with the NFT attached to it.
Interesting. In regards to the blockchain, and I think I know the answer, but I want you to tell me, if you're able to, how did you guys, on a step-to-step basis, how did you guys successfully integrate your physical piece into blockchain?
Brandon, you want to go ahead and explain that?
Right. So pretty much the process goes like this. We start out by photographing each physical piece and weighing it, because some coins will have different weights. Some coins will be slightly larger than other coins.
Every single piece
and
is
whatnot.
unique, correct?
Slightly,
Yes.
yeah. Every piece is, yeah. Go ahead, Marcel.
I'm sorry, I should just...
Well, yeah, every piece is basically the same image, but there's slight differences, throughout the glass bar. So, there might be very small differences, but differences through every coin. So basically, we start with the picture and a weight, and we give each coin a serial number. Then we package the coins, put the serial number printed out onto the coin packaging. And once we have the pictures of the coins and the weights, we basically use Photoshop to create a stat card of each coin with its weight and serial number and photo. So we ended up with 265 coins. So then we had 265 pictures. We created 265 NFTs based off those pictures. And that's how we did it. Pretty straightforward. Ravencoin makes it very easy.
It's straightforward, but somebody that doesn't know how blockchain technology works, are you able to explain the step-to-step basis on that? Like, where did you put the photo at? Did you upload it to a website? How did you get it into blockchain, as a static image on blockchain?
So to do that, we use IPFS, and I just downloaded the IPFS desktop app and then uploaded each image to that. And then once you upload an image to IPFS, it gives you a hash, which is just the identifier for the image. And you just copy that into the Ravencoin wallet where you create your assets. And then it just instantly links the IPFS data with the Ravencoin NFT.
Yeah.
So the NFT would just carry that data with it wherever it goes forever.
And that's what I've been telling all the listeners for the longest time, why I personally like to utilize Ravencoin, because it's so easy. Like I was hoping that you would go through these ridiculous amount of steps, but no, that's how easy it is. You literally, all you do is upload your image to IPFS, you attach the hash to your to NFT asset, and publish it. That's it. Very simple. people
So,
think
John, my impression, just to interject back to your earlier question about why a proof of work. Now, it's my understanding that a proof of work blockchain is faster and more reactive for stuff like this because people are mining it and therefore more active on the network. So instead of everyone that's going on the network just checking for their proof of stake, there's an active mining community, which, and I could be totally off base, but I believe that the idea is that that helps our pictures load quickly and gives people access to the information we put up more readily.
okay, nice. All right.
Am I wrong about that, Brandon?
I think the network of miners helps the system as a whole, but it's the nodes and the IPFS nodes and everyone who uses it. It's the miners, it's the community, it's the people who run full nodes. I think it all helps the network to be more robust and secure.
I would interject on that, and not as a my primary business is in mining, and so as a proof of work versus proof of stake person, there are advantages to both. The biggest question really comes down to: do you have a big enough network? If you have a lot of people involved in either proof of stake or proof of work, then you're going to be solid. Proof of work has been argued for a long time because it mandates a physical investment. And at that point, you're not worried about just people having like gobs and gobs of money in which they could buy into the proof of stake network with it. With proof of work, you've got a huge, heavy physical investment, and that's not easy to move. So it means that you're likely not to just walk away and invalidate transactions right away. But proof of stake can work, and of course, Ethereum's going to try to test that here next year. To see if they can actually prove it out. But there are other coins currently, like I've been using Algorand for a while, and their network is so amazingly fast and smooth, and they're all proof of stake. So it can work. We'll see how it works on Ethereum when it comes right down to it. I'm not against either idea as long as you have enough nodes involved. It can be functional either direction. I'm not going to go into my disappointment in Ethereum moving away from proof of work. Because I am, and it is, but it's a question of, as Marcel and Brandon, you both said, it's about community. If the community is strong at heart, then your coin will be strong, and everything going forward will be strong, because it will be concerned about the well-being of your fellow man, and not a concern about just money.
I want to piggyback off of Jake in regards to the community. The Ravencoin community is absolutely strong. Without a doubt, every single guest that I had on the podcast in the past year that's been part of the Ravencoin community has been amazing, and they all say the same exact thing. They would not be part of the Ravencoin blockchain if it wasn't for the community. In fact, I can attest to that because that's actually what got me into Ravencoin. The community kept talking about Ravencoin, so I said, you know what? Let me look into this. Let me see what's going on, and after reading the white paper, to me, I wasn't really convinced because it was something very similar to Bitcoin. I'm like, okay, I've already read something like this. There's nothing that surprises me about it. So what is there? So I looked a little further into it. I downloaded the QT wallet. I tested it out. But what got me hooked was the community. It's people like you, Marcel, and Brandon that are willing to come out and just hang out, man. That's just one of those things. Like, there's so many of the blockchain communities out there that are not willing to give you a time of day. If you're not there to make their pockets full of cash, then they don't want nothing to do with you. But you guys are out here like basically doing this stuff for free. You guys are improving your skills, obviously, but asking for a minimum of 1,000 Ravencoin, that's not really much to ask for a team of. I believe you guys have 5, right?
Yeah, or more. I mean, it takes 5 people to make the coins. We essentially add NFTs to the physical product we've already been making at the same price point we've been selling them at, as just a way of adding documentation and providing utility. So as we build out our system of, like what I would like to envision from the art unit in this physical blockchain is it was basically a reaction to the energy cost of proof of work blockchain, in that you're doing all of this work, spending all this energy, whereas if we do it physically, then people have to physically gather and help each other to accomplish this financial goal in like real life, not just behind the screen of a computer. And that's the part that really appeals to me a lot about this project.
Yeah. Do you see yourself doing glasswork for many years to come, or you're gonna get ready to pass the torch on?
All of the above. So, you know, my objective with this, I believe this project and this physical blockchain is actually a viable solution to some of the situations that people are confronted with. And I want people to be able to come together in the physical world and create the kind of gas that people are doing just purely digitally in their like crazy, I mean, when you're just one or two people behind some screens taking over the world, it's just way too easy to get this mad scientist mentality. And next thing you know, it's megalomaniacal thought patterns start to crop up. So like getting people face to face together to like work on a project where everyone can like share their gifts on like a more equal footing is, has a lot of value. So if the thing that we're going to use to measure every experience in our life is created in the same way that adds value to our lives, then that's a much bigger win than just letting some magician behind a curtain create it. Even if it's, one that you have some control or influence over. I mean, it's just so much better to be in person.
Yeah, nice. Let me ask Brandon a question, because it looks like he's falling asleep over there.
I'm here.
How does your avatar fall asleep? But yeah,
the space bar strikes again.
Wait, does it show my head down?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking right at you. That's weird.
You falling asleep with your eyes open? All right, Brandon. So the question I want to ask you is, if the Ravencoin fees become so expensive, do you think Project 33 will continue to use Ravencoin blockchain as their main blockchain, or will they integrate other blockchains to alleviate the workload of you guys' company to create those transactions, or just move to a completely new blockchain entirely?
I think we'll stay on Ravencoin. Obviously depends on how crazy the prices get.
I mean, so right now on Ethereum, I can attest to this. Last week, it was going to cost me $200 for an Ethereum transaction to move $40. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those things that if you're going to sell me a piece of glasswork, $40 per se, and it's going to cost me $200 to make that, I can promise you, Brandon, that I'm not going to buy the glasswork at all. That's crazy to pay a fee two times, 3, 4, 5, 6 times more, whatever it is, than the actual price of what you're charging me. That's ridiculous. So that's why I want to ask you seriously, like, as a company, as a project, do you guys truly see yourself continue to stay regardless of how high the fees are? But realistically, if you guys are not able to sell coins, is it going to be profitable? And if it's not profitable, are you guys just doing this just for passion, or are you doing it to actually flip a profit? And it's a serious question that I want to ask actually every company out there, this same question.
Yeah, we've talked about the other blockchains, and we're interested in other blockchains to some extent, but
let me just unpack this a little
Yeah,
bit here.
go for it.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, Brandon, but I think that the blockchain that we use is kind of like it's based on utility. So if something else comes along that's more useful, it's possible that we would switch to it, but it would have to actually be more useful, because we're really, like I was saying, we're adding value to the work that we do, and we're not actually staked to Raven in terms of our value. So when we call an art unit glass coin, we actually have it staked to dollar, like a complementary currency. So
Okay.
one art unit costs $10. And that's actually where we're pegged. So we're, in that way, we're more like a stable coin.
Okay.
But what the vision of what we're working with is to create so much demand for this stable coin that there's room and need for more and more people to create it. And then that's, to me, that's the key to freedom for more people. Is, so if you have, like, for example, a regenerative farm that's building community and has like a group of people that come and have potlucks, and they're just like spreading the knowledge and sharing the wealth, like, those are the places we want to show up with our glass blowing 18-wheeler and let these guys like get up on stage with us and create a giant pile of art units, and then we just drive off, leave them with the pile of art units, and they can sort it out and create an even stronger, more resilient community around that farm, because we can cut down on the entanglement of the financial burden of that. So helping that situation to happen through developing not just our own process, but getting that demand to the point where other people want to do the same work, and we can build a framework using blockchain, using like an app or something to make it possible for a community of people to do the same work instead of just one small group of artists.
All right. Brandon. Actually, no. Actually, I think Marcel would be good for this. In regards to the Braveland NFT auctions that you guys successfully been able to be the highest bidders, or not the bidders, the highest sellers of these NFTs on 2 weeks back to back. We've only been doing this for 2 weeks, and you guys have so far been the top selling NFTs to date. Why do you think that is? I'm kind of curious. What's your insight on this? Are you guys like? Do you guys have? I don't know. I'm curious.
I think we have the home team advantage a little bit, as we've been on Ravencoin creating NFTs for a while,
So
and
you've established yourself in the NFT community enough to give yourself that advantage.
I mean, I think it's the Ravencoin community specifically that we're talking about. The first time we walked into Braveland, there was pictures of our art all over the screens.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think we're well loved by the community here because of the Ravencoin piece and the other work that we do.
Predictions. If you had to make a prediction for next Friday, and keep in mind, to all the listeners, everybody that's listening, all the viewers that are watching, the Ravencoin NFT auction is now going to be an every Friday thing here in Braveland. So if you don't have Braveland and you're interested in getting into the NFT, I guess this boom that's going on in NFT, and you want to buy it directly with Ravencoin, which you can mine, by the way. If you have a laptop, you can mine it. You don't necessarily have to buy it. It's very affordable. What is it? It's sitting at, I think, 18 cents right now. 18 cents per Ravencoin. But
19, I think.
19. Wow. Who do you think is going to be the top selling NFT next week? Is it other than you guys? You can't choose you guys. If you had to make a prediction of who was there last week, who do you think will take it this coming Friday?
I think Joy Joe has a great chance. Really,
Okay.
Joy Joe. She did those paintings, right?
Those cheetah paintings?
Yeah, there were 2 paintings, right, in the last auction. Joy Joe. I think she has a good chance of maybe taking the top selling NFT next week.
What do you think, Mike? You've been to both.
Yeah,
You've been to both of them.
I've got a lot of faith in the NFTs that also come with a physical object. I think that's where it's gonna pop.
Ah, nice. That's a good thought in itself. You know what? So if I sell my NFT, which I plan on doing here pretty soon, and it was actually inspired by you guys. So by the way, Marcel, Brandon, thank you guys for doing this and making your NFTs because it's inspiring a lot of people, man. By the way, I'm raising my hand right now because you got. How do I raise my hand? Let's see, like this. I don't know how to raise my hand on here.
Thank
Like
you.
this, maybe. Okay. Anyways, I plan on making my NFT, and I believe you guys, Mike, you have an NFT already going. Several of them. Jake, I'm not sure. Do you have anything, Jake? He fell asleep.
Sorry, I accidentally muted myself. Can you hear me still?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't actually own any NFTs. I've been very conservative with my reasons because I hadn't figured out what I want to put on it yet. I'm like, what do I sell? I don't even know.
But you are mining Ravencoin, right?
Oh yeah, no, I have Ravencoin and Ethereum, but to be clear, if I hadn't already made it obvious to Marcel and Brandon, I own a crypto farm and I host users on the farm, so people can either buy rigs or they can bring in their own rig. My biggest advantage is that I don't pay for power, so a lot of people are just like, "Oh, flat rate, awesome."
Beautiful. All right.
Wow.
Now to get wrapping up, Marcel, Brandon, is there any other questions that you guys would like to ask that I haven't asked myself that you guys would like to ask yourself and answer yourself? Because, of course, I'm sure there's an infinite amount of questions, but something that you want to bring up really quick before we get wrapping up.
Great question. Man. Yeah, I don't know.
I think the
what an
website is
opportunity.
one point,
I'm
right?
drawing a blank here a little bit.
A StarshipInEveryGarage.com is you guys' website. I'm sure they can go there. Now, are you guys selling them? Can somebody just go to your website and buy it, or is it only strictly for the NFT auction?
No, you can go and buy them. Not all of our coins come with an NFT added. Honestly, I would say we have like a 20% claim rate, 30% claim rate with our regular customers on the NFT, because with the way you get it is you get a claim code, physical coin, and then they have to claim it. So as we get, more options through Ravencoin, we'll be able to do a paper wallet system. Will be good for us.
So for the listeners out there, for the viewers out there, part of the C3 Media podcast and YouTube and all the media platforms that we have, how can we get our own C3 Media coin?
Well, actually, we definitely offer that service. And kind of that's where it becomes a collaboration of your company and our company to, bring that trade medium out. So we basically have a setup fee, which is it's about 10 grand to create the coin, and then we work with you to create an image and a statement that works with the interests of your company and the interests of the project. And when we agree on all that, we create the coin, and we guarantee creating 200 coins.
200 per bar.
per bar, yeah, which is a pretty conservative. Sometimes there's more, but the $10,000 setup fee is based around creating 200 coins.
Okay.
For which means that would be 200 for you guys. That are the $100 coins. So you essentially end up with 20,000 in product, and then you become a partner in the system to try. And the way I view it is it doesn't really become what we're trying to make it until somebody says, I see that coin and I will give you $100 for it. And at that moment in time, the intrinsic value of the artwork has been accepted by the market like every other piece of artwork in the history of humankind. Or, like, because that's really like part of the artistic journey is when somebody like appreciates your work enough to give you not just appreciation of your work, but the means to create more of it in the world.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You guys are making amazing pieces, man, without a doubt. Every single piece on your website. And by the way, I'm going to plug it in one more time. A starshipinEveryGarage.com. Check it out. Just for listeners out there, just check it out because these images are so amazing. They're so unique. It's so unbelievable how these things are even created to begin with. And I believe you actually have a YouTube video as well showing exactly how you guys make these things. And it's a pretty hard process. I think it's a hard process. So it's amazing that you guys are able to do this with a team that you guys have, a dedicated team that you guys have. Marcel, Brandon, thank you for being on the podcast. Where can the listeners reach you at if they have any more questions?
They can come find us here in Braveland. They can contact us on our website. They can contact us at Art Units on Twitter. You can contact us on Instagram. My personal Instagram is at Marcel Glass. Think that's most everything.
All right. Brandon?
Anything I missed?
No. I just said Brandon was going to say something.
The only last thing I want to say is if you're interested in purchasing one of our tokenized Ravencoin glass coins, we have about, I think, 14 of them left for sale, and all of the proceeds from these coins will be donated to the Ravencoin Foundation. So I think there's 14 of these coins left.
I can't see anything.
There's nothing on the screen. Well, it's the Ravencoin glass coin. So if you are interested in buying one, let me know. Just hit me up. And yes, that's all.
Sounds good. Thank you, Marcel. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Jake, for being on the podcast. Until next time, stack, sats, and HODL.